What should be the learning path for that fresher to get crack an interview and get into a company with zero experience?
To really attend the interview, and also the interviewers would be impressed seeing that they have this certification.
So can all those manual test cases can be automated?
They are designed for not allowing the automation tool to work on them.
What are the skills they need to have? What are the things they need to know before they can crack an interview in the manual test?
When it comes to AI, you can ask me, AI is doing everything, then why a manual tester? But do you really trust AI for everything?
Are there any freewares, right, which the tester can use that to do the testing?
And they were offering a hefty amount, so I got lured as well. Around 2023 or something, again a reception team.
Yeah.
There were few layoffs, right? So I was a little worried. But my son, he went into a critical stage, and within some around 10 or 15 days, I resigned without any offer. Actually, I bought my notice period and joined Velocity. I paid money to Micron to leave Micron and join Velocity there. Having kids and all, I'm not able to do it this way. 11 years I was with Oracle. Then I moved to somewhat bigger company, JP Morgan Chase, and from there, like joining a startup, it was scary. If there are 10 developers, they are taking work of almost 100 developers work right now, being testers, because 10x. Each developer has become 10x because of AI. If they don't use it, they would be the major bottlenecks in the release cycle.
Mhm.
And what are we getting even if developers are adopting it? If testers are blocking it, it is extremely mandatory that testers also have to adopt and go up with the speed actually with AI.
There are two kinds of people in tech. One kind play it safe, follow the rule book, and climbs the ladder step by step. And then there is the second kind, the risk takers, the one who is embrace change, reinvent themselves, and disrupt the norm. Our guest today, Shilpa Jandhyalia, belongs to the second kind. From testing code as a junior engineer to leading teams at big firms like JP Morgan, Oracle, Micron, and startup like Velocity. And now the founder of AIBurst.biz. Her journey is anything but ordinary. She is not only a visionary leader who rose through the corporate ladder, but also a proud mother of two teenagers, balancing bedtime stories, high stake meetings, and homework help. She is the embodiment of resilience. She has broken barrier, juggled priorities, and kept going when the road was not always smooth. And if you are a student, a fresher, a working professional, or a working mother, wondering where is my career headed, this episode is for you. You're about to hear the journey, unfiltered and raw. Every success story has a beginning, and every leader was once a beginner. Today, we are diving into the real journey of our personal life and climbing the corporate ladder. If you have ever stood at a crossroad, questioning your path, and wanted to hear the real journey behind the titles, this segment will give an insight into it. Shilpa, welcome to the podcast. So glad to have you here.
Hi, Maulika. Thank you so much. And I'm really grateful to you and your team Learning Curve for this opportunity at a very early stage of my company. Getting this opportunity to really share my insights and experiences is really something which I feel as blessed, actually. And I'm very excited for the conversation.
Thank you, Shilpa. Before we dive into your professional journey, I would love for our listeners to really get to know you as a person. Could you walk us through your childhood days, school, and your college days? And how did you get into your early professional life?
Sure, definitely. And too good, really, to reflect back. After a long time, maybe I'm reflecting back into my childhood, schooling, college, and all. Very nostalgic. Yeah, so I did my schooling, entire 12 years of schooling in St. Francis Girls High School, which is in Secunderabad. And after 10th, I have joined Ratna Junior College. I got into Deccan College of Engineering and Technology. It is affiliated to Osmania University, and there I have done electronics and communications engineering. From there, I joined as an off campus hire to the App Labs Technologies as a testing engineer. Then I moved out of App Labs and joined as a software engineer in Oracle. There, actually, I started off with the automation tasks from the scratch. I have proactively taken up the initiative, demonstrated it to my team. We were actually reporting to a director there, and he's Praveen Sahani. He actually loved the work, and then he started giving me projects in automation actually. Then I immediately became lead senior software engineer within 8 months. Yeah, it was an awesome journey there. Like I was working for Oracle Transportation Management. It is a great application. Like even as on today, they have huge number of customer base. So it was a very good experience there. So from there, like I was with Oracle for 11 years. Uh, I mean, as you know, like Oracle, many people consider it as second home. Even I had considered it as second home actually. Once we get into that company, it's like we got into our dream company and we are here. We will be here. We
Yes,
will not
true,
move
true.
out. Okay, that was the mindset actually, and I was really enjoying my tenure with Oracle there. Eventually, like yeah, as you know, like complacency sets in after it's been 10 to 11 years in Oracle, and then I thought, why shouldn't I try outside? Why shouldn't I expose myself to the market actually? And what is it that I need to do, and what is it that I'm lacking, and what is it that I have to catch up with, right? That is when I started with all these Java trainings and then lead coding, practicing all the lead code problems. I even appeared for Amazon interview actually. I could not make it, though narrowly I missed it. But yeah, from there I joined JP Morgan Chase. I was working on as a project performance engineering actually there. It was kind of like I wouldn't say that a very technical role, kind of like a lightweight technical. That is where I was working on, but because it was not 100% technical, and I was missing that core technical stuff. Uh, I had to make a move. So from there, as you know, I joined G-Rombus Consulting. You must be having a question from Oracle, JP Morgan Chase to G-Rombus Consulting. Actually, they reached out to me and they offered a very good role, technical manager from there. And not just about the role or the title, I was working for Viva Systems, which is a very good company with respect to technology. They adopt a lot of advanced techniques, Java techniques in their applications. Even the testing framework was huge Java applications. Uh, I even traveled to US and stayed there in Pleasanton. I went there for training, took the training, came here, built the team, then trained, mentored them, and started delivering to the Viva systems. So I was enjoying it thoroughly, the work. Giromus Consulting and Viva both were operating in a startup mode, and my twins were 6 years old. And actually, like at that time in the city, this dengue and all were going on. So my son got stuck. I mean, he got affected with the dengue, and his platelets went too low. And that night, something has transformed me. I felt that no, I should be, a cooler, little cooler job. I wouldn't actually say that I was really, I mean, losing something. But the thing is, like, they have given me a good role, good position, and all. But if I mean, having kids and all, I'm not able to do the justice there. So that is how I moved out and joined a little a cooler company where so much of off work hours wouldn't be needed. That was Micron Technology, and there, like, I was leading as a global leader for QA, and then like from there, like I was asked to take up a manager role in manufacturing domain. I accepted the role, and there I led a front end team for manufacturing. It was a proper people leader role. Like I had around 18 to 20 members under me. So it was kind of like just to complete one-on-ones with everyone itself. It used to take a long time. So somehow, like I was going away from technology. Like I was always into people management, issues, resolutions, conflict, and around 2023 or something, again a recession came.
Yeah.
There were few
Right.
layoffs, right? So I was little worried. Being a QA manager, will I really sustain? So that is how when I got called, all these were they only reached out to me. So Velocity called me for architect role. Because I was in this mode, this mindset, I immediately accepted to join architect role. I know Velocity is again a startup. Again, I chose to join a startup, but this time the situation is a little different because my kids already grew and I already got time during COVID and all to really take care of them, nurture them. I really wanted to take it as a challenge, like how it will be joining a startup and all. I've gone through all the profiles who are working in Velocity, and they were all like from ISB, IIMs, IITs, and all. I felt maybe it is really a privilege to join
Right.
there, and they were offering a hefty amount. So I got lured as well. So that is how I joined Velocity and led QA teams, SDET teams like building the frameworks, training, mentoring the teams, hiring, building the teams, and then delivering the quality for the applications and all led by Velocity. Last 1 year, like there was some requirement with respect to AI, so that is where I started learning AI, and I was put into an AI project, enterprise AI project, and we started working on Gen AI stuff like LLMs, agentic AI, and all. So I really found that passion on AI. Honestly, from the beginning, my experience has been in end-to-end automations.
Mhm.
Right from taking like example in Oracle, like they just used to give a hypervisor and IP addresses. From there, I need to set up at least 40 to 45 VMs, and in each VM deploy a service, and then set up a cloud infra setup, a cloud infra, Oracle cloud infra, and then set up SaaS applications, and then applying patches or running tests, end-to-end tests, and also and the final step would be to identify even the delta between the tests
Mhm.
automatically, and email that delta, raise bugs and email the bugs to the
Okay.
owner,
Mhm.
owner of that pipeline. So always I have been in end-to-end automations, developing end-to-end automations, be it task automation or test automation. So I was already passionate about it. With AI, we can really transform it like anything.
Yeah.
We can make it smart, we can make it autonomous, great decision making system, and all, right? So I found passion there, and I really wanted to try out something. And I've been in QA from 12 for 21 years
Yeah.
already. So then I felt I can build systems. I should build systems. At least now in AI era, I should.
Yeah.
So that is how I felt and started the AI Buzz.biz actually.
Thanks, Shilpa. That was quite a exciting and insightful journey of yours. We would really like to deep dive into every aspects of your journey so that we can get more and better insights with your huge amount of experience. So, could you just walk us through your journey in the App Labs? So, you got hired into App Labs, and then did you had any kind of like internship training, like as a fresher? You are really new to the business world, right? So you don't know how things works and all. So, could you just walk us through your journey in App Labs?
Yeah, so App Labs gives 2 months of training for all the ACE batches. So they train on various aspects like installations, testing, types of testing, and all. And at the end, they put us on a test, and based on the results, they deploy us into the respective projects. So it was a 2 month process, but it was quite normal. We were all learning as again college engineers only, like college students only, all 30 of us, but it was very good. Like still we were continuing like a college kind of a life there. We were still like friends and all, more than co-workers and all. So yeah, it was good, and I got placed into travel based website. Actually, it was called TRX, and yeah, there I worked as a fresher first.
Then from App Labs, how did you move to your next company?
Yeah, though I was having an amazing time at App Labs, but still being a career conscious woman again, always like these big companies, Microsoft, Oracle, they have been my dream companies, and I really wanted to test working there. Okay, so I applied for Microsoft as well as Oracle. Initially, both the companies I lost. Then again, I got a call from Oracle and I could get through it. Luckily, again, that was another amazing opportunity for me. Yeah, I was extremely happy because it was a dream company for me. It was in 2006.
Can you just walk us through your journey in Oracle as well?
Yeah, I joined Oracle for a product called Oracle Transportation Management because I was dreaming for big companies. I attended a lot of training, certifications, and all while I was in AppLabs. So I was almost abreast with all the knowledge that was needed for automation and all. Okay, so when I joined Oracle, I myself started installing the QTP application. I myself started installing and checking it out and then presenting the demo. We were reporting to a director called Praveen Sahani. He was the coolest manager ever. So I demoed it to him and the team. He was quite impressed and he gave me the automation project for the entire Oracle Transportation Management application. And I came up with the regression test automation, the framework, and all. Then I mentored the team members, whoever was working on automation for the delivery, and I even got promotion in 8 months.
That's great. That's great to know. But then you also mentioned, which is a very important part, I feel, that you are continuously upgrading your knowledge, right? That whether it's with certification, having the latest knowledge, I think that always adds a very important value when somebody says that, okay, I'm not advancing or I'm having a lag. That always is very important if we are especially competing with, because it's a competitive environment, right? If you're competing and then trying to go ahead in the career, right? So, from Oracle, can you just walk us through your next company?
Yeah, so Oracle, I was there for 11 years. Okay, it was my next home, second home actually. And I never even thought that I'll be out of Oracle before retiring. Yeah, from Oracle Transportation Management, I moved to another team. It was SaaS QA. So Oracle was embarking on this cloud SaaS and all for its Fusion applications, the middleware and Fusion applications. So I joined that team and I was part of even release of Oracle Fusion applications, and Oracle Fusion applications meaning I mean SCM, HCM, FS, and all whatnot, HR systems, everything, CRM. They have a huge suite of Fusion applications. So I was part of pre-flights team for that, and I have traveled to Redwood Shores and worked with the VP there for the Vivan release. It was an amazing experience because I was part of Vivan release of Oracle Fusion applications, right? It was going amazingly well. Then in between, I had to take a personal break because I conceived with twins. And I would say, nothing best would have happened than being an oracle while I was pregnant with my twins, because they have supported like anything. I mean, they did not cause any kind of issue for me, and they always gave me nice, motivating words and to take care of my personal life at that time, because it was twins, it was a high risk pregnancy, and I was on complete bed rest, but still I was working. Oracle never raised any word. They just gave me a supporting environment where I can work as well as be on bed rest and take care of my pregnancy and all. And even after the delivery, I was able to take care of my babies and then return back after an year. Still, my manager asked, "Are you ready, Shilpa? Only if you're ready, you come back." That was the statement. So it was extremely supporting experience from Oracle there. So I'm very glad that during that time I was with Oracle, and that is why people don't leave Oracle. It's not just about pregnancy. Life, we have so many things in life to take care, right? And Oracle supports in every aspect actually. And once we get used to that, we really don't feel like coming out.
True, true. Like obviously, the having the balance between the work and the life, and especially when the organization is supporting, especially the manager, having a good manager also plays a very important role. So
Yes.
it's like a added advantage for us. And also, you also mentioned that though you got a lot of support from your manager from the company, but you were putting your full effort simultaneously. It was never that. So it's always a both side balancing the thing. So
Yeah.
that's very important, right? So then from Oracle, you moved on to
Yeah, I moved to JP Morgan Chase. So it was because uh, I felt, I mean, now I am getting into a complacency. I don't know what market is, how market is. Will I really fit into the market and all? And I started learning Java actually because then all this Java fever has started, and even in Oracle, we were moving out of QTP and to OATS, Oracle Application Testing Suite. So once I started learning Java, I started learning coding, lead coding, and I developed passion on that. And I attended I gave Amazon interviews as well. I lost it narrowly. I mean, with that, actually, somehow I started applying just to see how I do and all. Then I got into JP Morgan Chase. I felt maybe like now I should get exposed to different kind of industries, and I joined JP Morgan Chase from there actually. Yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Then from how long did you stay back in JP Morgan and what was your experience there?
So I stayed with JP Morgan Chase for 2 years. There's a reason there actually. Like Oracle is a proper tech company, right? And I'm so much used to huge technology. In Oracle, like before joining JP Morgan Chase for 4 years, I was working on huge end-to-end automation solutions. I was developing them as an IC role. Okay, so I got a immense experience in automation, be it deploying or cloud infra setup of Oracle. So whatnot. Okay, so in JP Morgan Chase, because it is a bank, because it is driven by the security policies and all, we had very less scope to innovate actually. And I was part of performance engineering team, where we were doing a very mild technical work. So I was already there for 2 years. So I was little worried, as you know,
Closing
again,
the
that
technical.
career consciousness in me came out. Then I thought like I should accept more challenging and technical roles from there. And I got the call from Girombus Consulting for a technical manager role, where it seemed very promising. Where I need to build the team, I need to go to US, get all the requirements, and train the team here and start delivering. So I really found a lot of interest in that, and immediately joined JP Morgan Chase, Jerome was consulting from there.
So did you find that little scary when you moved from your tenure in JP Morgan and then Oracle, right? So both those were like pretty big companies, right? And then it was more like a startup you joined, right? Was that little scary part for you, or like how did you take that decision basically?
Definitely it was. Because 11 years I was with Oracle. Then I moved to somewhat bigger company, JP Morgan Chase. And from there, like joining a startup, it was scary. But there you can see my risk taking attitude. So I've been showing this throughout my career, somewhere or the other, that I take risks. So I took risks. Because I know that even if I am out of that company for some reason or whatever, I can get in any other company.
Yeah.
Because I know what market needs, Java, lead coding, and all.
Yeah.
And even in Girombus Consulting, the role which I joined in, actually, like they were trying to fill that role from 1 year. They at least interviewed 90 people, the client, and they did not get anyone. And it was me who got selected there. And they also considered me like a very precious resource and all. It was actually very good joining there and traveling to US and getting all the requirements. I used to sit there in Viva Systems office, and Peter Gassner, the CEO of the company, he used to just join us in lunch. Yeah, at the lunch area and all. It was very exciting experience actually. And then I have to come back, I have to train my team. It was too good. Though I was little scared, it was worth the experience actually, the risk.
How was the journey in G-Rhombus? As you mentioned that you have worked there, you got the requirements from US and then back to India, training the team, upskilling themselves. Then what still made you to what was that void made you to still move out of Geombus?
This is what is most of the women face. Okay, so my kids were 6 years old, and like during September of 2019, both of them. First, my daughter got dengue, but she survived easily without much of medication. But my son, he went into a critical stage. His platelets dropped too low, like below 20,000 or something, and we were not finding beds. At 9:30 in the night, we were just roaming here and there on the roads, looking for hospitals and beds. It was that critical, whereas my son did not have time. And then we got admitted in a hospital where we had friend. He's an MD of that hospital, and luckily he gave us that accommodation, the bed. So we admitted my son, and at 2 o'clock we injected the platelets to him. 2 o'clock in the midnight, and still we were scared that whole night. You can't imagine the worst ever day in my life, entire life, because we don't know what is going to happen. And that is when we do a lot of I mean promises and all in our I mean mind, right? Like, oh my god, what I was doing, I was behind career, I left my kids, and uh, now it has come to this stage. Is it really worth? I mean, can I really afford to lose my kids like this? They need me. I mean, 6 years is too young. They
True.
need me, actually. Yes, I have been doing a lot of experimentation, but I can't just take chance with respect to their lives, right?
Yeah.
If only I was at home, I would have protected them from the mosquitoes, right? Some kind of guilt that has really set in, and within some around 10 or 15 days, I resigned without any offer. My CEO was very, very upset. He was Guru. Now also he's the CEO of Chirombus Consulting. So he was extremely upset. He gave me many other offers, opportunities like you can work from home and all. But still, I made up my mind. It is my son's life. That shock has made me resign without any offer in hand. And even I started getting spondylitis. Yeah, it was like I had a lot of work there, because both the companies work in a startup mode. Girombus Consulting and the client to whom I was working for, the Viva Consulting, both of them actually work in startup mode. And I was too grateful to really be doing such role, and even I was going with the flow, only to realize that we were all burnt out and even my kids are getting impacted and all. That is how I had to come out, actually.
So, being that fearful or extremely career oriented woman, you did take a step back where prioritizing your family. But I think that's where the whole work life balance also comes up when you could not see that getting there. Probably, I think you took a step back in your career and then you prioritized your family life.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. Then how did you move on after that in your career?
Yeah, so from my network itself, my friend called Raj, he was my colleague in Oracle. His brother-in-law was setting up a organization in Micron. It is a very cool company for women. You can even leave at 4 p.m. and you will have an amazing work-life balance. Please try considering, because they are looking for a good women leaders. So that is what he told me. So then I thought, let me give a try, because he's saying that it is for women and we can really try it out. That is how I applied, and I got it, actually. And yeah, from there, it was never a bad decision. Really, I had an amazing work life balance. We have kids at work in Micron and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So there I was a global testing leader for I&O, infrastructure and operations team. It was quite good, actually, there.
When you say like, did you really take a break like between the so after your first company after your previous company, right, Girombus, you said that you moved to Micron, right? So was there really a career break or it was like you immediately joined in?
Yeah, so October 2019, I informed Girombus that I want to leave. And maybe like towards the end itself, I stopped working, because even I got sick and I was appearing for physiotherapy sessions and all. That is how I had to take the break. And yeah, those 1 2 months I was properly working on my health because I was not able to put my head straight as well. So yeah, I was working on my health, and then in January, like December end or something, I had these interviews in Micron, and in January I joined Micron.
Glad that you again could find the work-life balance in Micron. That was really great.
Yeah.
So then, from Micron, how did you move on with your career?
Yeah, so I was with Iron. I developed the mobile automation framework. That was the first time I worked on mobile automation framework. I had a team, I was mentoring, I was taking care of the deliverables, and entire Iron testing we were taking care. Okay, so that was a very good role, and I was there for 2 years. Later on, I got a request from manufacturing head that they're looking for women managers. So here I was kind of a principal role. Even my manager there, Subbu, supported me. Like Shilpa, you should try because it is into a lateral move, right? Then I joined as a manager for front end team in manufacturing. Again, it was a testing team. I had around 18 people reporting to me. So it became completely like a people manager role there.
So you mentioned about lateral movement, right, within the company. So is it like really very different from a like outside the company when you switch, or within the company when you do a lateral movement from department to department? How is that really different? If you can just give some insights on that.
With respect to company policies or pay or whatever, like company culture, definitely there is no difference. But yeah, work wise, leadership, there's a huge difference. In manufacturing, I saw leaders even more competitive, more fast paced, and all, and I had to catch up with the speed there. And everyone were already there in manufacturing, and I was the one who joined newly, so I have to ensure that I'm fitting in the organization, right? So definitely, I wouldn't say that it was a smooth move. It carried challenges actually, and I had to work on the challenges.
How did you move on to your next journey of your career?
So again, this one I got a call from Velocity. But the reason, honestly, like how I felt in Oracle, that I should not move out of Oracle, the same way I felt in Micron as well. I really never wanted to move out of Micron. I loved Micron actually. And I would say that Micron is a blend of all positives of Oracle and JP Morgan Chase. I used to proudly say that to everyone that Micron is the best company. In 2023, 22, we did have few layoffs in Micron. So before the layoffs were executed, most of us were scared. What will happen to us? And me being QA manager, I knew I would be the main spot on, right? So I was really worried about that. Oh, I'm just a people manager. Why will people need me? Right. My senior manager can take care of them, right? Why do they need me? If they have to lay off, they can lay me off, right? So I was really worried, and I lost technical touch when after I moved to my manufacturing. Very little I used to involve because never we get time. Always generating roadmaps, reports, or talking to people one on ones, resolving issues. That itself was there. When Velocity called me, they called me saying they have an architect role. Then I felt, oh, this is very much needed for me at this moment. Now I should get into technical. Then nothing can actually really risk me. Honestly, they were offering huge package. Actually, it was almost double from Micron. Uh, I got excited. Again, the risk.
Yeah.
We didn't know the company, so definitely I've gone through all the employees of the company in LinkedIn and saw like who all are there, and actually big guys were there from ISB, and my manager there, he has written a book as well on QTP 10 years back. So that is where I got impressed. Oh, very good people and very talented people are working here, meaning it should be a good company. And I did some background verification, and I heard very good reviews about the company, and then I joined. Actually, I bought my notice period and joined Velocity. I paid money to Micron to leave Micron and join Velocity there. Yeah.
So we got to know and understand about your career journey. How did you make your decisions to move from one company to another? Now let's deep dive into more the technical aspect, right? So could you now, from your start, right? So you did mention in App Labs you got trained, and then you into multiple technologies and tools, and then you started working. So can you walk us through different areas? Um, how did you do your technical journey?
Yeah, so while I was in App Labs, I was in pure testing, manual testing, and that was a very good experience. But at the same time, the entire group, like we, all of us, we were learning QTP in parallel because that was an automation tool. Then VB scripting we were learning. We have written ISTQB certification, all of us CSQL certification, and then we were getting into DB side as well. So we were continuously learning. So that is where I found passion in automation. But in App Labs, I did not get a very good automation role because, like, still we were juniors, so we were just given the scripts written by others to debug execution and all. So I had that thirst. I should build automation. Okay, so when that's why when I joined Oracle, I myself started everything. Like I have set up the QTP and then went to my director. Praveen, I have set up QTP. Now we can run it like this. And I used to develop the scripts and show it to him. He was also excited. Oh wow, all this is happening automatically without user
Wow.
intervention and all. Yeah, that is how I got into automation, VB scripting and all. And I loved coding, the logical part of it, how we crack it, and all. Because I was building the framework, entire framework I built in Oracle, and based on my framework only, we used to run the regression tests and release the features actually in Oracle. Then the navigation from there to Java. Suddenly the shift happened. Everyone started using Java, Selenium, Oats, and all.
So did it happen in App Labs itself?
In Oracle.
In Oracle, okay. Every success begins with action. A blank resume, a shaky voice in the interview room, a screen full of errors, and endless late nights. But behind every great tech leader is a story of grit, growth, and relentless learning. From fresher to architecture, from software testing to AI breakthrough. This is where real careers are forged. Skills, interview, mindsets, and everything in between. In this segment, we will break down the action you can take to become the champion of your journey.
Yeah.
So let's break down into smaller parts. So could you just tell us for the listeners, right, who really don't know what is software testing, right? Maybe some of them must have heard about it, some of them must be working, but people who never heard what is software testing, could you just break down in very simple words, like what exactly it is and why it is necessary?
Sure, definitely. So, software testing is something like validating the what users would be seeing, right? Meaning what users want. Are we showing that or not? Right? The user experience or the requirements which talk about what users should see. Are we seeing that in the right way and without any issues and all, right? We have seen CrowdStrike issue recently, right, where it was not tested properly. But we do see that it is considered as a lesser work as compared to development. But as per me, it is a very critical part of the entire cycle, development cycle.
So can you just tell me, like, what are the different types of software testings are there?
First thing is there are very high level categories we can actually categorize into. And coming to various types, it is like unit testing, then integration testing, and system testing. This is actually like various levels of testing, I would say, various stages of SDLC. Then comes this would be kind of a functionality checks. Apart from functionality checks, we have non-functionality checks as well, like performance testing. Again, in performance, we have various categories like load testing, stress testing, scalability testing, and all. Then security testing, compatibility testing, where we check across the devices or operating systems and all. Then internationalization and localization testing, checking for the languages. Accessibility testing, like where the software is allowing the disabled people to really use it or not. And then UI testing, usability testing, like see, definitely we have all five user, I mean, text boxes. But if it is not completely visible, then how is it a right product, right? It
Mhm.
should be completely properly visible for a person to really understand how it is, how it works, and all, what he has to enter and all. So these testing types are there. Then we have a few like beta testing, alpha testing, then pre-prod testing. These are for the releases. Then
For the
releases actually,
okay.
like when we want to release, like we developers perform something called beta testing. Then user acceptance testing, which we even call it as alpha testing, and then regression testing to test whether the change that has been pushed recently, has it created any other issues or not. Like this, we have various kinds of testing, and these would be employed at various stages actually, and they have their own goal and functionality, I mean the users actually.
So how are these testings are being executed?
Yeah, so these different types of testings can be executed manually, meaning a human sits at the machine, opens the software, and executes the test cases, meaning like what a user should be doing in the production for his tasks. Uh, a tester would be executing manually, clicking, entering data into the text box, and all, and observing the behavior of the application, and is the behavior as per user, as per what user wanted, or as per what requirements is or the specifications say, right? So this is manual. At the same time, all these manual test cases can be automated using programming languages and few available tools. So we already had tools like Qtp, which is also called UFT, and we used to use various scripting for that. But now, like many other tools have come in, like Selenium, Oracle Application Testing Suite, which use Java. And now, like we got Playwright, which is more intelligent testing tool, lightweight testing tool, which can be used with Python or TypeScript or JavaScript as well. Okay, so we have various tools, and we need to develop a framework, like how do we execute each test case, because it involves a lot of UI components, entering data, and all, right, verification of the data from the application. So various actions needs to be automated, meaning a human doesn't have to do anything on the system. It executes automatically. We can even put nightly runs, irrespective of human is there or not, right? That is called as automation. So we can accomplish it with various programming languages and the tools available.
So can all those manual test cases can be automated, or there are like certain special manual test cases can only be automated?
Yeah, we do have limitations still as on today. Initially, we had many more limitations, like some user actions, few user actions were not automatable, or few alerts were not recognized and all. But now we have evolved a lot in the tools, but still we have limitations like multi-factor authentication. I mean, two-factor authentication where we get OTP in our mobile. How does a tool know about our mobile, right? Then CAPTCHAs, we have various kinds of CAPTCHAs, various versions of CAPTCHAs, and they are designed for not allowing the automation tool to work on them, right? Meaning we are restricted there. So, still, as on today, we have these limitations, and we are working on these, and we are trying to use AI. But whatever we are doing, we should do it in a legitimate way, because they are supposed to be that way. That's why they are like that. But still, if you want to override it, do it in a legitimate way. We do have some techniques for that, and we can accomplish it using that.
So majorly you are mentioning then the authentication part where it is required. That's where it cannot be like automated, but the other areas still can be automated.
Yeah, we do have some limitations. These are the major
Major ones.
pressing limitations as
Hmm.
on today.
Mhm. Okay. Now, can you just a little bit focus on AI in the context of software testing?
So it is an interesting question. So how AI can help in software testing, right? Can we define really what AI cannot do?
Not
There's
really.
nothing much. At least as on today, there's nothing much that AI cannot do, because just with few English words and English lines, AI is able to generate so much text, educate us, and all, right. So AI is a lot capable, and of late, agentic AI has come in. Meaning, AI is able to do actions. But LLMs previously, let's take ChatGPT. So we just ask question, it gives us the answer. It was kind of a brain, acting as an intellectual brain for us. But now There are so many tools that have come, agents, that they can perform actions. Okay, so when something can think and perform actions, can't it test? It can test, right? So AI is very mature in testing as well, because we did try generating test cases using AI, and we got very good test cases, including edge cases and all. Coming to automation, like, can it replace automation? Yes. Recently, we got some tools like computer use from Anthropic, browser use tool, whatnot. Means these act on browsers. Browser use tool act on browser. You just tell the tool in a prompt way, like, please go and log in and navigate through the survey, enter the survey details, and save it. It will go and do everything. It will generate test cases, use the data, it will go everything and come out. Okay, so AI can test everything.
So, but then you said that there is a limitation of automation testing. Is that something AI can bypass, and AI can also, crack that area as well? Like, let's say if I talk only about the authentication part.
Okay, so the browser use, which I mentioned, is a computer vision model. So definitely it should be capable of. But I did see this ethical sense in AI, where when we are giving the login, see, I deployed an agent one day and I asked it to log in my GitHub. It told, I'm sorry, I can't log in to your GitHub. Okay, so they're still ethical and they're not doing few things, but it should be possible.
Okay, so you are saying that ethical, most of the tools right now, also in the testing area, they are being ethical and they are not trying to breach that areas of, like, especially the authentication, whether it's the OTPs or anything, they are not breaching those areas.
Yes, as on today, they are not doing. But again, there are there are few kinds of prompting techniques with which we can actually do it.
You can still bypass that and
Yes,
can
which
do.
I don't want to mention here, but it is possible. But if you ask straightly to AI to do that, it will not do.
Okay, okay. Let's say a fresher want to get into manual testing because of automation and AI, right? The manual testing is not going to be too long there in the market, right? But if I think still there are quite a lot of manual tester companies are hiring still quite a lot in manual testing. What are the skills they need to have? What are the things they need to know before they can crack a interview in the manual testing?
As per me, even manual testing skill is a special skill. Definitely, it is important for us. Even in AI era, it is extremely important. Okay, because that is a unique skill not everyone will be able to do, because it needs critical thinking, problem solving techniques and all. And again, for testing also, like testing various components, and we do have some manual testing techniques, actually boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning and all. So a manual tester would be able to do those. When it comes to AI, you can ask me, AI is doing everything, then why a manual tester? But do you really trust AI for everything?
Not
No,
really.
no, right?
Definitely.
We can't trust AI for everything. It is still a machine. There's a lot of lacking aspects in AI, empathy, whatever humans possess, the creativity, empathy, and all. Still, AI doesn't know all that. At the same time, we still are seeing hallucinations, right? And we just can't go to production with all these hallucinations, right? So, as for me, human in loop is mandatory still. And that is where manual testers can come into picture, right? With their critical thinking and their verification and validation processes, they can really do an amazing job in those areas, actually validating AI's outputs and all.
So then what I understand is you mentioned quite a lot about critical thinking, right? So that's a very important skill then, that where they need to really understand, like, from where all the testing can go wrong, where the development or the product can go wrong, and then start thinking and making test cases around that. Let's say a fresher is interested in software testing. What should be the learning path for that fresher to get crack an interview and get into a company with zero experience?
Yeah, so our fresher can actually develop his skills with respect to critical thinking, problem solving. And actually, there is a certification. It's a very age-old certification, ISTQB Foundation level, which actually teaches all these, like whatever you asked, like types of testing and whatnot, right? So it teaches everything. What is the difference between verification and validation, equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, and all. So they can actually go and do this certification that will really place them in a very good state to really attend the interview, and also the interviewers would be impressed seeing that they have this certification. And what they can do is, in order to develop this critical thinking, they can take any website and they can start testing. Meaning, like, okay, what happens if I do this? Sometimes a website is not supposed to give an output in some other format which is not expected to, right? So a fresher can actually take up some testing portal, or there are few like that. Actually, they can take any website and all, they can start testing it. Like, they can feel that, okay, though that functionality is existing from a long time, if this user feels that no, this is not supposed to be like this. Why should it be like this? We will have potential risk this way or that way. Or this is not usable. This is not right, right? So all those are bugs only. But they'll get into some categories of bugs. Maybe the requirement owner initially they wouldn't have defined it the way it was supposed to be defined, but and now the user is feeling it that way. So all those are bugs. So their mindset should be in such a way that how can I break a system, okay, in a right
Yes,
way? How
yes,
can I break a
yes.
system, and how can I identify the code bugs which might cause issues in the production? That should be the mindset.
Yeah, basically trying to find out the issues which is already a like a proper website, and then trying to test that so that they can try to find out certain bugs and issues in that one.
They can take anything, like in the mobile and app as well, and
Mhm.
all. They can take anything,
Yeah.
and they can develop that mindset,
Okay.
testing mindset. What if I do this, what will happen? What if I do this, what will happen? Is it right to do, I mean, is it right for the application to behave like this? I'll tell you why. Because in production there'll be thousands of users, millions of users, right, for any application or website and all. Can we really control how they behave, all those users? No, right? Each one can enter in their own way. But actually, if the testing team has not covered that case, the user would be seeing the bug, right? So the mindset should be like that. Meaning, all kinds of edge cases, we should be able to write the test cases. So that is where the unique skill set of the tester will come into picture. Like that not everyone can do, honestly. A developer cannot do that. Only a tester can do that, who's thinking to break the code, who's not thinking to build the code, right? So he should develop such kind of attitude in order to get into that. And in interviews, generally they'll give a module and ask them to write test cases, like and they'll see the coverage, how they're doing the coverage, edge cases, negative cases, the boundary cases, validation cases, I mean input box validation, whatever. So all these will be tested in the interviews. So in a way, they'll get the knowledge from the certification, as well as they should develop this practical knowledge. That
Okay.
would really help them.
You are again and again mentioning about the attitude or the critical thinking of the tester, right? I think many people must have ignored, or they may not have realized that it is so important to be a good tester. If I talk about, let's say, Amazon website, right? So as you mentioned, every day like crores of people are logging in. Now from a tester standpoint, they really need to start thinking what all things can go wrong. They cannot think from only one mindset or two mindset, not 100,000. They need to think from lakhs of people perspective, that okay, what all different users can do wrong, and they can catch hold of that early before the application really goes down, or any user can break the application, but whereas the tester should be doing that rather than a user.
Yes, that is why I said tester skill is unique.
That's very very important, because you're not thinking from a single person. A developer will think only from a single perspective. Though I'm not saying that development is easy or different, but from definitely from a tester standpoint, it's very important, because they're not thinking like single direction, unidirectional. They're thinking 360 degree from different thousands and lakhs of people, that okay, who can do what wrong, and I need to catch hold of that at an early stage so that something does not go wrong.
Yes, it's
Yeah, that's very important. And
one more point
yes,
I want to
sure.
add. So, to whichever company or whichever role they're appearing to, uh, definitely domain knowledge is very important for a tester. A developer might have or might not need the domain knowledge up to what a tester would need. Tester would need end-to-end domain knowledge. It should work like this only. Otherwise, it is wrong as per the functionality. The thinking should be like that. Developer, what he will do, he will get the requirements, or input field should accept 160 characters. Okay, I'll just apply that. It's not, but testers is not like that. They should have domain knowledge. So in case they're appearing for a known company or a known product and all, it's better they develop some knowledge on the domain and go for the interview. That will really help them in writing the test cases and all.
Can you double tap on that when you say domain knowledge? What is a domain knowledge and how somebody can build the domain knowledge?
Yeah. So let's say in insurance domain, let's say a fresher is going to appear for an interview with an insurance based company. Okay, meaning like insurance is again one domain where it has its own set of rules, policies, and whatnot, right? So without knowing what each policy is, what a term policy means, or what a health policy means, right? How can you test it, right? I mean, the app is all about that information only, right? Term policy
Yes.
or healthcare policy, whatnot. So without knowing those, how can you test it, right? So in the same way, everything, fintech domain, airline domain, logistics, SCM, everything, the functional knowledge, the domain knowledge is extremely important for a tester. And if they're going for an interview and if they know the domain, better to learn. How do they learn? Unlike us, now they have a hell lot of resources, YouTube videos, chat GPT. They can keep ask questions till they understand the domain, various aspects of the domain, and they can get equipped and then go accordingly for the interview.
That tip will definitely be useful for the listeners for sure.
Yeah.
And also you mentioned about one part that doing the testing, like trying to do the testing of take up any website or any app, anything. Are there any freewares, right, which the tester can use that to do the testings, like anything?
I came across one recently. I don't remember the name, but when I was going to Amazon interview, I tested Amazon itself. I did find few bugs, and I did inform to the hiring manager. Like the search box was taking hell lot of characters, and we are able to search it, and then it went unresponsive. Then another bug was like initially we were able to do the orders without OTP. So with my login, if my kid is using the device, he can order anything. So this I raised the bug to him. So in the same way, without breaking the system or something, they can take up anything. Freeways we need to search maybe, like I'm not much aware, but yeah, we can take up anything and test. Sometimes few companies they even reward for finding the bugs and identifying in their and raising it in their portal actually. So
True.
it's a good opportunity as well.
Right. So yeah, I think as you mentioned, other than the technical like certification, the technical skills, having that critical thinking, and also you mentioned, right, whichever company they appear, if they try to do certain testing in there, whether through like learning through YouTube videos or anything, and then using that and telling the company about their own bugs and issues, always will give an added
Very
advantage
good.
for them.
Yes.
Okay. Also, can you touch upon that? If a manual tester want to move into the automation testing, right? What are the additional skills they need to build in so that they can also explore the area of automation testing?
Yeah. So first and foremost, coding. So most of the tools use Java or Python or TypeScript. Playwright is using TypeScript as well. So coding, like for developers, if there are levels like small, medium, hard. So for developers, they have to learn till hard level of coding. Okay, but for testers, small, easy and medium is sufficient. And these are available in Leet Code, then HackerRank. They can create an account in HackerRank and start solving the coding problems there. And then there's this Geeks for Geeks that is also very good, which gives the entire code and gives the explanation of everything. So they should be really very well accustomed with the coding. Then comes the tool, like what are the tools are there, and how we can use it, the methods that they need to use in the tool. Like WebDriver has its own methods. So if they get equipped with those methods and the framework types, there are different kinds of framework types which we can build for automation. So learning those, like what different frameworks are there and what are the advantages and disadvantages of each of those frameworks, and all, like when we have to develop what kind of framework and all. This will be really good for them to really appear for automation interviews and all.
Okay, okay. So then you also mentioned that AI will definitely not replace the manual and automation. It is more like in hand, it will go
Yes.
parallelly, but it will never replace. And these jobs are still going to stay in the market because AI cannot replace a human.
Um, as on today, that is the
Yes.
situation,
Hmm.
definitely, because as per my practical experience as well, even while coding, I did use Cursor AI or GitHub Copilot or Gemini and all. Still, a lot of my programming knowledge was needed to
Hmm.
really accomplish a task. So it's not like they're doing everything. They can help us. If this is a case, do like this, right? But they're not able to do end to end. Okay, and coming to manual testing also, they might be missing out on some perspectives which we know based on our experience being humans. Because we are dealing with humans, a human can think better than a machine, right? So definitely a human will do a better job there. My two cents says maybe AI will evolve to be as intelligent, like by adding all these missing pieces in future. That is again like dicey. We are not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. As we proceed, like,
yeah.
at, but at least at this juncture, it's always
It's yeah,
without a tester, without having, like as you mentioned earlier, also that without really a tester seeing the code, they cannot really push the code in production.
yeah. It is extremely difficult actually as on today.
Yeah. So just to summarize, so you mentioned that then a fresher can get into testing, especially the manual testing, not knowing coding. But if they want to get into automation testing, right, or even AI testing, they need to know some level of coding. And the critical thinking is also very important. And additional is also the domain knowledge, which will give a added favor for them. Let's move on to the role of a lead, testing lead, right? Can you just cover the areas what a test lead need to really know for them to, from a mid-level career perspective, what they should be really focusing on?
So, unnegotiably, a lead should be perfect in all this. Meaning, if an engineer has delivered his work for the end of the day, the lead should be able to review and tell what is missing. Like example, if he is reviewing the test cases, what the engineer has written, then the lead should be able to identify what are the missing test cases. That is for that reason only we have the second check, right? And testing is so important, we can't miss out anything. So that job lies with the lead. So in the same way, coding, like after the engineer writes the code, who is going to review it? Lead is going to review it, right? So again, lead should be able to quickly go through the code and identify the issues and comment the issues in the code and get them fixed and all. Then deliverables as well, bugs or bug reports or execution reports. So lead should be knowing a lot in all these areas. There's something called these days like reports where observability of the application is also added in testers play. So all this advanced level of stuff, like if leads know and learn, it would be a great added advantage to them. And most of them are mandatory more than the added advantage.
Now, let's say a lead want to move into an architect role, right? So, what should be the skills now the architect, from an architect standpoint, they need to develop? If you can walk through that.
Yeah, so as an architect, he or she is expected to develop a test strategy. meaning the entire thing, like how are we going to achieve it, right? With what we are going to achieve it, with whom we are going to achieve it, how we are going to achieve it, within how much time we are going to achieve it, and what is the methodology we are going to achieve it, like automation, types of testing, where we want to put manual, whatnot, right? So the entire test strategy lies with the architect. Architect has to come up with a test strategy for any project. Then the architecture of the entire automation framework, like if you want to go with an automation framework for a project, then definitely we'll build the framework tailored to that application, right? Like it can be a mobile application or a web application or whatnot. Like so accordingly we develop the framework or API. Mhm. So to develop a framework that is suitable for that application also lies with the architect. So, lead would be reviewing the cases. They will be able to write the scripts and all. But architects should lay out the design architecture and then mentor the entire team with this on this framework. The knowledge needed to write scripts using this framework, it lies with the architect. And architect also reviews the test scripts like of the team members.
Then, how do there are already testings and other systems setups are already there, right? So, how the architect need to plan to integrate AI into the existing testing component?
Honestly, there are many tools that have come in the market, like Lambda Test, Test Sigma, Testim, various tools which are providing AI capabilities, self-healing capabilities of the objects and all. So again, it is a architect's role to whether to use these tools or not. If they want to use, which tool they want to use based on their offerings. Let's say architect doesn't want to use any of these tools, then the architect should be equipped with the Gen AI or agentic AI knowledge in order to be able to integrate the AI capabilities into his current framework. Like using agentic AI also, we can achieve a lot of these. So he should be well equipped with that.
Okay. So, other than adopting new technologies, what is the ROI an architect can show to the organization to adopt, AI or Gen AI you're talking about?
Yeah, see, it is all about accelerated release cycles as of now. The trend is that, meaning previously, once we get the code from the developers, we take 2 days, 3 days to test, certify, and all. But that has gone now. Like now, leaders are expecting it to happen in an hour. That is the ROI.
Mhm.
And that is where the architect's capability will come into picture. How is going to use AI and how is it going to tailor his framework, everything he should take care. And but that is the expectation as on today.
That's a very important, like time factor is always with this fast moving world, time factor always plays a very important role. Even at times, probably money, companies okay to spend more money, but time factor is always
Yes.
a faster, important aspect.
And if you see, in case developers are already, not in case, most of the developers are already using AI for coding, right, as co-pilots, meaning they've already accelerated their work. If there are 10 developers, we are taking work of almost 100 developers' work right now, being testers, because 10x. Each developer has become 10x because of AI.
Yes.
Means 100 developers' work, if we are taking, we also should be equal to, I mean, proportionately
Yeah.
equal to developer capacity, right?
Yeah.
So, again, we have to adopt AI here and accelerate our stuff, testing stuff.
So, especially if the development team is using, it should not be like, okay, testing team don't need it now. They also need it because so that they can as well parallelly accelerate their job as well.
If they don't use it, they would be the major bottlenecks in the release cycle.
Mhm.
And what are we getting even if developers are adopting it? If testers are blocking it, it is extremely mandatory that testers also have to adopt and go up with the speed actually with AI.
Yeah. Let's say an architect is adopting AI because it's hyped up, but without really analyzing in depth the implication of it. Do you see there are any pitfalls in a negative way it can have to the organization or to the whole testing ecosystem within the organization or the team?
Yeah, see, as on today, models have matured a bit as compared to last year. We did have a lot of hallucinations. So, training an AI to really do our work was like making a drunk man walk in a walk on a straight line, right? But now we have got a few techniques, prompting techniques and all, to make it stable. But still, I have seen cases, I have seen news where AI has answered wrong in the production system, like at the traffic signal or a flight, as a flight chatbot. It did give wrong answers recently, and now there's a huge lot of discussions that are happening as to who is responsible for the mistakes that AI is doing. AI gave a wrong flight cost to the user, and at a traffic signal also it gave a wrong a wrong signal or whatever. So who is responsible? So this is a global problem as of now, and this should be solved if we are really adopting it. uh, at least for critical systems, we should be aware of it and we should take care of the measures. And if it is lower critical, maybe we can leverage it for amplifying our work.
So then it's a very big, probably a no-no. Without, if it is a critical system, they should definitely understand the system. They should understand the implications, and then only they should incorporate AI, not like blindly following and then just adopting it.
Again, there are some techniques like eval techniques and validator models and all. Even after adopting those, there might be few risks, yeah, that everyone should be aware of.
How do you see the landscape of this whole software testing? So we did speak quite a lot about AI, right, in test software testing. So how do you see it like changing in the period of like next 3 years, 5 years, or if not 10 years, at least in the next 3 years, 5 years?
A tester's life on any single day, whatever they do, has changed with AI. It's not like previously they used to sit and write all the test cases, then execute and all. It is not like that now. Give the requirement to the ChatGPT or any AI, get the test cases, add, and then you add only what are missing. Okay, with respect to generation of test cases. Okay, with respect to code as well, you want to automate this, you can get the code generated by the AI. So previously we used to sit and write, but now we will use AI as copilot, get the code, and then we run, test it, and then use the code, then only we push the code. There is another aspect of AI, which is machine learning. Using that, we can make the entire testing ecosystem very smart. Like, as on today also, still the problems are like flaky tests, our automation tests fail intermittently. Okay, then defects concentration, where is it happening, why is it happening, or in the production, what are the logs and what are the trends. So we can use ML, we can train our ML models and give all these logs or the results or whatever, and ask the ML to predict that what is going to happen with this. If we use it like this, what is going to happen? So we can actually make our entire system very smart with all this. Like, where is the defect density and why? Which component is failing more? Which component is failing more number of times? So we will go and look there only, right? And sometimes we have very less time to test, right? So then we have to prioritize our scripts, what we want to run. Okay, even the prioritization, we can use AI. Like, AI will actually see what are the files that got impacted, where are we committing the code, so what we might have to focus on. We can AI can even categorize those scripts which we need to execute. So we can use AI a lot in all of these areas, and I don't think many companies have already started this portion of AI utilization testing. So for anyone who really wants to learn AI and in testing arena, they should be doing all these.
Do you think that there are any new roles going to come up because of the introduction of AI, whether it's at a fresher level or at the mid-career or at architect level?
Yes, this is what. So previous use case where we using AI to generate test cases or to generate code to amplify our work. There, anyone can do, even a fresher can do. Okay, and we don't need extra skill set. One person can replace 10 people with this use case. But second use case, where we want to make our entire testing framework smart and have AI in observability, logs validation, everything, they definitely we need ML engineers, machine learning engineers. They can do wonders there actually. So mostly at lead or architect level, if we can hire ML engineers and design all this and get it done, our testing system would be too mature and too smart.
You left all that stability and then started your own venture.
It's all about AI.
Anything in you had to change when you were working for someone and now you're working for yourself?
Definitely. In when I was an employee, I'm just responsible for my project or my team's delivery. That's it.
For a fresher or experience, right? They want to get started with AI.
Initially, to really gain that interest and knowledge on AI, I would suggest them to learn Gen AI first.
Did you ever feel that you were a very tough manager?
We were successful in delivering the project, but I definitely ended up having some bitter feelings for my team.
What is that you would have wished in your college days someone would have given you or told you?
Sometimes developers might say, hey, it's okay, come on, this is not a big deal, just push it off. And because these are freshers, they might think that, oh, sir told me, seniors are sirs.
What are the major biases you have seen in your early career, mainly from based on gender only I'm talking about?
When we talk or when we take any action, when we do anything, still the judgment and the way people perceive us is really still existing, and really people have to change a lot in that area.
Have you ever been told that you are too ambitious?
The same thing if men do. They take them as an inspiration and they say that like, wow, is an amazing leader, right? But the same thing if women do, it's considered as, oh, she's too ambitious, she's too bossy, right? So naturally what happens is people who were not seen in office gets pushed off, right? That is how things happen. Whenever I get a challenge or anything, any downfall or something, I get up and I roar like a lion.